You are your block of the flow. Manifesting works if we allow it. The same way as healing your body works if you allow it. The body has a self-healing ability and it heals itself only if it has the right environment, the right conditions. And we determine the conditions. This is where we can impact something. We cannot impact what will happen, but we can impact the environment we provide it so that it can happen. A great example of this, of how we block our own flow, is medication or interfering with our intuition. So there's two things that are combined. One thing is that we have learned to go over ourselves, to go over our intuition. We have learned not to listen to ourselves. We have learned not to listen to our body. We have learned to believe that what is happening outside, the treatment we're receiving, that's the only way, that's how it is. And then we replicate this in our own lives and we treat ourselves the way we have been taught to treat ourselves and others. This in origin isn't the state where the body will heal itself, right? Because if you're going over your body, over yourself, over your intuition, not only the body, also your life won't be able to heal itself. A healed life is a aligned life. Healed life is where you're satisfied with yourself. A healed life isn't a perfect life where you don't experience sadness or anger or different emotions. The human experience is complex and we came here to experience all of it, to learn all of it, to experience all of the emotions. It's not about that, but it is about the seemingly bad things happening to us. The seemingly bad things and the uncomfortable things and the disease of the body happens to us when we are not aligned with ourselves and when we need to go over that pain. The pain and the chronic pain is the wake-up call, is the impulse telling you something's wrong. You're not doing it right. You're not being right. Then we have this need for pain. We have this need for pain in order to learn. But we can shift this, and this is what I'm teaching, is how to shift, not to live with the pain. Not saying it's easy, it takes practice and it takes learning and it takes understanding. The realizations are the healing process. When you realize you're doing something to harm yourself, which if you're manifesting chronic pain, you are, unfortunately, and when you realize the pattern that you're creating for yourself, that's where you can release the block and allow the flow. That's where you can come back to yourself and allow the body to heal itself. Allow your life to be easy. Allow your life to heal itself in the sense that you can have all the good relationships. You can be surrounded only by supporting people. You can be surrounded by only things you want. You can have the best quality of things in your life if you're the one who will allow it. Okay, so the same way it flows with money, with health, with everything in your life, it works the same way. Wherever you have lack of something, you're the one too scared to step into the alignment, to step into you can have it all. And instead you're convincing yourself why you can't have it all, why you have to have pain in your life, why you have to have hardship in your life. Obviously, the transformations are a process, and this is a good thing. there are things we can change overnight. We can change our lives overnight. We can make serious decisions. We can shift everything. We can move into the different country. But then what doesn't happen overnight is changing the belief mindset. Okay? It can be one belief that you change overnight, but not the whole structure of your mind that's holding together. And it's great that we can't change that overnight, because it allows us to learn layer by layer and belief by belief what it is we actually want. And it allows us the time to figure it out. Okay, because going from chronic pain to extreme flow of life would be so overwhelming that you probably wouldn't be able to handle it all. If you've been living in lack, in any sort of lack for ages, for years, and pain is lack of relief, then a sudden relief, an ecstasy of pleasure and ease and calmness would overwhelm you so much, it could literally kill you. It could be just too much to handle. You would crumble under all of it. And so the self-healing journey and the chronic pain releasing journey is a journey for a reason, so that we can learn how will it be safe and suitable for us to allow more into our lives. How can I allow myself to shift from this lack of ease, and how can I learn to experience ease, experience relief? Any shortcut doesn't work long term. Any shortcut isn't sustainable. It doesn't mean the shortcut is wrong. Sometimes we do need to take the shortcut, which the shortcut is the big shift. It's the overnight radical decision. It's when we do take medication to escape the pain. It doesn't mean that it's wrong, okay? Taking medication is, I would say, important in the pain releasing, in the process, because it can get so overwhelming and we can get so much into our head, overthinking. I should be there already, I should already know this, I should understand, I should know how to lead a pain-free life. But you shouldn't. There's no rush, and sometimes taking the shortcut is that the shortcut that provides an instant ease, an instant release, where you go from taking the medication and you go from the extreme pain to that release and relief, and you're like, yes, thank you, thank you. It can bring the gratitude back. It can bring the realization we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves, because that isn't sustainable. If you're only gonna be punishing yourself for not knowing why you have your chronic pain, or because chronic pain in itself is self-punishment, so also bringing more punishment and punishing yourself. Why am I like this? Why can't I be pain-free? Why can't I have the flow of everything that I want, right? Then this shortcut is never going to be sustainable, because what we need is we need to learn how to live with that new version of ourselves. Whenever you say no to something, you're saying yes to yourself, and you're saying yes to something in your life, right? So you're always shifting, and whether it's in small beliefs of programming your mind, whether it's in seeing what you have replicated from your ancestral line. If you look onto those who annoy you most, your ancestral line probably sometimes, then when you allow yourself to see the similarity, how am I creating, how am I recreating these same blocks, these same limitations as those who I thought I'm gonna do everything different than them, and I'm gonna shift everything. But how are you recreating that same pain? Because we've been taught to feel pain, like everything else. We've been taught to love, we've been taught to be the way those that brought us up taught us to do so. And it's up to us to take what served us and is serving us longer, it's serving us still, to take that and keep it and to see what is no longer serving us. What can we do differently? What can we have differently so that we heal ourselves primarily? But with that healing, we heal the whole ancestor line. We allow ourselves to see things differently, to have things different. And yeah, so we're the ones blocking the flow of the all relief, of the pain-free life. We're the ones interfering. Okay, and in order to stop interfering, we have to go through that fear, because the first stage of coping, basically, the first stage of coping is the fear, the reaction, the wow, okay, this is dangerous for me. And there you're touching the limit of your reality. Okay, whenever there's something uncomfortable, whenever there's something frustrating you, there you're touching something comes from the outside seemingly, and it seems like it requires your fear reaction, your anger, your reactiveness in any kind, and it seems like that's hard. Okay, like we have to react to it in that hard way, and then we go into the victim mode. Why is it like this? Why do I keep receiving these situations that require so much of my energy, and why like this again? Okay, but what we can shift is to go through that fear, allow that fear to be there, allow ourselves the space to see the different way, and allow ourselves how we can resolve that situation through love. Often that will mean not reacting at all, not interfering at all, allowing, often it will be allowing those situations to resolve themselves, and taking back our energy, and staying in our energy, not interfering, not feeling like, again I have to interfere, again I have to do something, I have to react because it's urgent, it's urgent, it's urgent. But if you're going towards the version of yourself that is pain-free, that is at ease, if you tune in to that version right now, how would that version react to the situation that you have right now? How would that perfect, abundant, carefree, confident, at ease and pleasure person react, version of you, more like version of you, react to the situation you have right now? What is it you want to create? Because what first comes up in the flow, where we're blocking it, where we're reacting, where we're like, oh my god, I have to, it's urgent, I have to, this is the email, this is the call, this is the person wants something from me right now. So how can I react to this situation from that version instead of what I'm creating, with the strong trust in life, that life will provide me with whatever I need? This is what we lack in the state of fear. In the state of fear, we don't believe we're gonna have enough money. We don't believe we're healthy enough. We don't believe we have the best food that's nurturing. We don't believe that we have the right people around ourselves. This is the fear state. But in a state of trust, I understand that whatever's going wrong is going wrong because it's no longer supposed to go right. And whoever's leaving or angry in my life needs to be angry, needs to leave, needs to do what they need to do. Whatever doesn't go as planned isn't supposed to go as planned, because I'm getting closer to that version. And then I act, if I shift to act, because then it's like, okay, I don't want to react from fear, but what can I do? How can I react then? Because of course sometimes there is a reaction, there is a response, there is a better way than ignoring the problem and pretending like it's not there. Non-reacting doesn't mean ignoring the problem, okay? But what would that version that you're going towards do in this situation, and how would that version approach? What kind of a reaction? What kind of a person would that be? How would she react? How would she speak to herself? Because remember, the most important thing is what you resonate is what you receive towards every aspect. So if there's a certain aspect that's not going according to plan right now, and you feel like you can't shift it, like you can't change it, like there's still something you don't understand, you can't see, like there's still something that's like blocking you and you just can't figure it out, then seeing how you can react differently and taking days, maybe making a deadline that in 3 days I'm going to address this problem, and seeing, being with that emotion, being with that trapped energy. Because if it's an emotion of anger, then fear, then scarcity, then lack, it's trapped in there, it's trapped within you. Maybe it's creating pain, maybe it's creating something else in your body, but it's trapped there. And you being with that, just being with it, not reacting from it, but allowing it to show you the next perspective. How can I resolve this situation? Okay, I'm gonna do this in 3 days. And then next day, maybe something else will shift. Something else will be able. Also, what helps is releasing all the emotions that are trapped, whether it's crying, whether it's however safely you can release those emotions for you, not towards that situation. And then taking the action from that aligned, peaceful state that you know you're doing your best, you know that is the highest version of you, really highest. And the longer you can put off that reacting, the longer you can basically, but being there, okay, being with it, not forgetting about it, not suppressing it, not pretending it's not there, but being there with it, with that situation, going over it in a gentle way, in a, okay, I can do this. I can do this, supporting yourself through the process. I can react in the most aligned way, not differently, but in the most aligned way, in your highest version. And when you start reacting like this, in the highest version, then everything will shift, everything will go easily. If you react with that ease, with that trust, with that love, there's nothing else that can come back. So remember, if you're gonna react to it again with anger, with scarcity, with frustration, with lies, maybe with some honest way, then that's what you're gonna receive back. And it is up to you to find that trust within yourself and act from that version, because you are the block of your flow.